Mahler is an online content creator. He makes complex movie reviews, video analyses, and runs a lengthy podcast where he breaks down other videos on YouTube and discusses why said videos are poorly made. He has become known for making videos of great length and for starting an internet war over two opposing opinions. Art is subjective versus art is objective. Art is subjective is the perspective that art is critically evaluated only on an emotional level, and any misfortunes, faults, or problems with a piece can be looked over as long as you had a strong, positive emotional response. On the contrary opinion, art is objective, meaning that art is critically evaluated on whether it makes sense. Even if you are not emotionally invested in a piece of art, you can be wrong for not recognizing a piece of art is good or for not recognizing that it is bad. Art is objective is the side that Mahler has argued for again and again, and I would say that I agree with him. Plot holes, out-of-character decisions, and unexplainable conveniences are sort of like weights. If there are too many attached to a piece of art, it will start to sink. Art needs to make sense for it to reach a certain standard, is the oversimplified explanation of where art is objective comes from.
It doesn't make any sense, Gordon. It sucks!
Then I started thinking about John Wick. John Wick doesn't make any sense. John Wick depicts a world where apparently half of New York's population, and probably the world, is made of high-profile secret assassins. And in many ways, the entire world is somewhat controlled entirely by this secret world of assassins. If assassins were this abundant, then why doesn't every law-abiding citizen on the planet know about it? Wouldn't world leaders get assassinated every other day if the underworld was functioning on this size and scale? Why is it that they use gold coins as a currency?
One coin gets you either like a night at a hotel or a drink.
Them more as business cards?
On the objective level, this script doesn't make much sense. So, why am I about to argue that John Wick is objectively good? It's because art doesn't need to make sense to be great. An example of great nonsensical art would be Dali's melting clock painting. There is no clock on the earth that bends or melts to this shape if put to high temperatures. There are no clocks in real life sitting around desert landscape with tables and worn down trees. Why are the clocks melting but not the tree? Where is the heat source that makes these artifacts deform in such a strange way? The painting doesn't make sense. It does not abide to logical reality because art does not have to abide to reality. The reason people come back to Dali's work and describe it as great isn't because of how sensical it is. It's because of the craft that goes into making it nonsensical. From the brush strokes to the contrast of colors to the shadows and the light created with simple paint and brush, from composition perfectly following the rule of thirds to the display of background and foreground. Dali painted a picture that doesn't make sense, but that lack of making sense is made up for its quality and craftsmanship. John Wick doesn't make any sense, but that is made up for in its quality of craftsmanship. The perfect one-shot takes, the constantly increased intensity of choreography, the adrenaline-pumping pacing, the fact when you take away all the bloodshed, you are still with a man who just loved his dog. John Wick doesn't make any sense. I would argue it's objectively great. Art does not need to objectively make sense to be an objective quality. I do not believe this perspective I have made in this video is indisputably correct. There is a full library of videos online, not just from Mahler, but from all sorts of YouTube creators, all tackling this discussion of objectivity versus subjectivity. I have not watched all these videos, and it's more than possible that the point I'm making has been covered and refuted already. I want this video to be used to continue the objectivity versus subjectivity discussion. Are my points valid? Can the quality of craftsmanship make up for the lack of logic in a piece of art? Or maybe Dali's melting clocks aren't actually that impressive? Why is it that art needs to make sense for it to be of objective quality?